Hey there, Star Wars fans. Jonesy the Mandalorian here again with another entry in the Hyperspace Database. Today's topic, the cancelled Darth Maul video game Battle of the Sith Lords. This game also went by the internal codename Damage and had the working title of Maul, though all of these names went out the window when the game was sadly cancelled in 2011. This story starts in late 2010 with a small video game publisher called Redfly Studio. Redfly Studio was approached by LucasArts to develop a new Darth Maul-centered Star Wars video game. Of course the team was very excited to do it, who wouldn't be? The initial design of the game was to look and act somewhat similar to the Force Unleashed video games, though this one looked to be darker and more violent, with limbs and other body parts being able to be sliced off like an actual lightsaber would do. Interestingly, when the initial designs and mechanics were being developed, the team at Redfly didn't know what story they were actually telling. The design team thought that they were going to be telling the origin story of Darth Maul, leading up to his death in The Phantom Menace. But Lucasfilm let them in on the secret that Darth Maul was going to be featured in the upcoming Clone Wars TV series, and had survived his fall in The Phantom Menace. Our story basically bookended the end of The Phantom Menace with Maul's death. We felt this story would be a really solid, large game, maybe 2 games. However, this news kind of derailed the developers and their story process, as their character story was now open-ended, and they didn't know the direction that the Clone Wars was going to take him in. We were told Maul survived his encounter with Obi-Wan Kenobi in The Phantom Menace. We fashioned robotic legs on Maul after being told that he had them. Then we were told he had a brother named Savage Opress. He was supposedly green. Again, we were not told of the Clone Wars storyline at this time. The team eventually decided to just focus on the gameplay and worry about the story beats as they received more information. The team wanted the game to have an emphasis on stealth as well as action, using a fear system to cause enemies to panic and turn on each other, kind of like the Batman Begins video game that uses a similar mechanic. We were kind of fumbling around in the dark in terms of lore, so we just started making a game instead, which was kind of fun. The initial plan was to explore making a stealth game that was action-centric, so instead of a stop-and-wait game like Thief, it was more forward stealth, like kill that person before they can actually alert someone, then disappear into the rafters. We also started developing the concept of Maul as a glass cannon, taking our cues from Arkham Asylum. You are insanely powerful and deadly, but 1 or 2 hits will take you out. The team eventually got some direction with the story in a later interview with George Lucas and the creative team at LucasArts, and it was revealed that George was interested in seeing Darth Talon and Darth Maul working together in the game. Darth Talon, if you are aware, was a Twi'lek Sith warrior featured in the Legacy comic book series by Dark Horse Comics. One major obstacle about this team-up, though, was the fact that Darth Maul lived over 170 years before Darth Talon's adventures in the comics, so that would be quite a stretch for Maul to still be alive. George dismissed this problem by suggesting that the Maul character could either be a direct descendant or a clone of the Sith himself, much like Boba Fett from Jango Fett. This gave the developers at Redfly Studio something to work with, and the story of the game would start to develop a shape and flow from this idea. It was rumored that the plot would have seen the Maul clone and Darth Talon fight against Darth Krayt and his Sith army, which are seen in the Legacy comics. There were some interesting new characters that were going to be introduced into the game, such as one Darth Kroin and Darth Inexer, whose roles were not fully fleshed out yet. We see a lot of really awesome original character and concept art from this game, courtesy of one of the game's 5 concept artists, as seen here. The tone of this game was set to be darker, more brooding than others. The development team saw it as a coming-of-age story, though this one featured Darth Maul as an unwilling participant thrust into the Sith against his will. We wanted people to see him as a kid, kidnapped by Emperor Palpatine and tortured, physically, mentally, and emotionally, becoming this powerful Sith Lord. You got angry, you got frustrated, and you made the same mistakes he did. No one has ever seen Sith training up close. No one has ever seen how to construct a Sith from kid to adult. We've only seen the 5-second turn. Anakin Skywalker cries a little bit and then he's evil. This story would chronicle the early years of Maul and Palpatine, his master, and would eventually see Maul turn on his teacher with the lightsaber you helped construct. You want to fight him, and of course that's what he wants. While the project was beginning to take shape and development was progressing, LucasArts was still not signing off on any of the big ticket items that would allow development to truly get underway. The project was further hindered when LucasArts suddenly and mysteriously stopped communicating with Redfly employees altogether. Some members of Redfly Studios were concerned and found out from LucasArts employees that something was wrong, though they weren't told of the extent of this trouble. It would later be confirmed through email that the worst had happened. The project was cancelled, and the studio was in danger of losing its funding and maybe going under. The game had just completed its prototype phase of development, and the team was very disappointed to learn of its cancellation. The prevailing theory why the game was cancelled was due to George Lucas selling Lucasfilm and all its subsidiaries to Disney, which iced all projects in development at the time. While all work on the project was officially halted, Redfly Studios is still hopeful that Electronic Arts would still be interested in the project and would pick it up for development, even if they were to abandon the Darth Maul story and instead reskin the game and market it as something else. This was not the only game to receive the cancellation treatment, however, as the impressive-looking Star Wars 1313 was also cancelled due to the Disney buyout. If you want to know more about the development of that game, which would have seen Boba Fett dive into the seedy underworld of Coruscant, look forward to my upcoming video where I dive into the backstory of the development of that game as well. While Battle of the Sith Lords was never released, the concept looked to be pretty awesome, and here's hoping that some iteration of the game will still come out someday. Though with EA's direction of Star Wars games, that doesn't look very likely. What do you guys think about this game? Would you play it if given the chance? Let me know in the comments what you would have liked to have seen in this game, and what concepts you'd like to see in future Star Wars games. If you liked this video and want to see more like it, be sure to check out my other videos, hit those like and subscribe buttons, and the bell to be notified every time we publish a new video. Be sure to select all notifications, and you can check me out on social media for more news and channel updates. If you like what I do, consider heading over to my Patreon to support me there. Super special shout out to my Gold Captain level supporter Nick Sutphin. Your support is very, very much appreciated. Be sure to stay tuned to this channel for more news about future games, events, movies, and other things as well, as we talk about all things Star Wars. Be sure to hit me up in the comments and just chat with me, because I'd love talking to you guys too. Thank you so much for your support and for watching this, and we'll see you in the next episode.